Hello everyone, my name is Ramsey Sieverts in PACE 315, oral presentation number 2 on ethics. I chose to cover environmental ethics and what is my personal responsibility to the environment and being green and eco-friendly. So what are some ethical issues that you are confronting? How do we make the decisions given these issues? So basically, the way that people conduct themselves in society today typically all follow some sort of code of ethics and set of behavior, just as a rule of thumb. So now every country and every place follows their own set of standards. However, we do all share the same world, and we do have contact with one another, and invariably, each country's decision affects the other, no matter what their standards or policies may be. So much of humans' activities in the world directly involves and impacts the environment. So, the ever-present questions that are brought up when considering environmental ethics include: what obligations do each and every country in the world have to the environment? What obligations do human beings as a whole have to the environment? What about at an individual level? To what extent must we go to preserve species of animals and plants? So within the last few hundred years, the population has exploded, all the way up until currently, it's just at an exponential rate. And with that rate comes extra burden and strain on the environment. So the awareness for the environmental protection and the green movement is becoming more generally known throughout the globe, as governments and schools teach, preach, and relay this message. So the big ethical issue that I am confronted with on a day-to-day basis is how much of that responsibility is directly put on myself. So the questions that I have for myself are: should I use plastics? Should I compost at home? Should I conserve water when showering or watering the lawn? When I'm at the beach or at the ocean and I see garbage, should I pick it up and throw it away? Should I continue to eat deep sea fish even though I know that deep sea fisheries are becoming depleted? Should I buy a car with the best miles per gallon, or should I not buy a car at all? To what extreme really do I want to go? So it's no news to us, as we all are witnessing this happen, ocean level rising, more erratic weather patterns, and animal extinction, to just name a few. So what is the ethical responsibility that I bear? So the dilemma that I have is deciding where to draw the line. This is a tough dilemma that I have to face multiple times every day, because if I were to choose to adhere to an extremely tough regimen where I follow the green movement and participate in eco-friendly acts, I could go, I could spend my whole life on it, and it would be very draining, and it would be basically unreasonable. So it's a very tough ethical question, where to draw the line. It's very ambiguous. It's so hard. It's kind of new. So this concept is very hard one. But ultimately, I believe that the approach that we can take is to find a balance in the middle. So I find a balance in the middle. I choose to be very conscious, make great efforts to living an environmental friendly lifestyle, ultimately trying to produce a low carbon footprint. So the approach I take nowadays is still pretty enduring. I would say at least 2, 3, 4 activities a day, whether it's I recycle a bottle or something, I'm doing something. So I'm still definitely connected to being green. When looking at the Markkula Center for Ethics approach, I chose the utilitarian viewpoint. So this viewpoint basically is a moral principle that holds that the moral right course of action in any situation is the one that produces the greatest balance of benefits over harm for everyone affected. So basically, in this viewpoint, it is accepted that there may and will be some harm, but the optimal choice is the one that produces the most good with the least amount of harm. So acknowledging this viewpoint, I understand that humans are species like any other species on Earth, and on Earth it's survival of the fittest. So it's no surprise, in order to survive, we have to consume other species and compete for land and resources. So this is the basic ritual of life and how species live in harmony, and this is the reality of it. So a quote that I took from the book Nonviolence that I really liked was, all life is interconnected. No single form of life can be considered without acknowledgement of an infinite web of life forms. The air we breathe, to which we owe our life, consists of gases that were produced by other life forms. I really liked, this quote. We do owe it to other species for our existence. So acknowledging this, in conclusion, finding a balance with the green movement, trying to do your part, I think is the right approach to take, considering our ethical responsibility and what's expected of us and all that we can do. Thank you very much.